once again that time. We're going into a new month. It's December, if you can believe that. If you can believe that. But it's time once again to talk about everything that happened in the last month in the photography space. Now, in some ways, it was a little bit of a quieter month, and certainly here on our YouTube channel, it's been a little bit quieter. That's because there is a big thing that happens in the photography space, in basically every space in November, and that's Black Friday, and it absolutely takes up a massive chunk, especially towards the kind of second half of November. And that is absolutely a big deal. In fact, you can still take advantage of some of the deals that are still running over on parkcameras.com. Check out the link down in the description. But let's talk about some of the things, because while it was in some ways a quieter month, in other ways, it was actually an unbelievably big deal of a month. Let's start where we always start, which is with new products. Now, first up, we had Canon with 3 new lenses. We had the RF 200 to 800mm lens, which looks like a very nice telephoto zoom lens. That's a very, very appealing focal range to play around with. We had the RFS 10 to 18mm, which is a nice wide angle lens, especially for those APS-C crop sensor cameras. But the lens that is exciting, really exciting, is the RF 24 to 105 f2.8. f2.8 aperture all the way through, 24 to 105. That marries up the 24 to 70 f2.8 with the 24 to 105 f4 into one kind of super lens, which I can imagine basically never taking off the front of my camera. That is such a go-to perfect all-rounder for so many different things. It is crazy. It's absolutely marketed as kind of a videographer's dream as well, which is definitely the case. I used to use a 24 to 105 f4 all the time. Now I use a 24 to 70 2.8 all the time, but I would love to be able to combine those two. Oh, yes, please. But that's not the only massive thing that came out, which is actually quite new. Sony came out swinging with the A9 III. And the reason this is such a big deal, yes, there's loads of good specs on it. Yes, it actually looks like an incredibly capable camera, especially if you're doing sports or wildlife or something like that. But we're talking about a global shutter. It's the world's first global shutter in a mirrorless camera like this. And that is big, big news. And it's probably not an overstatement to say that this is arguably going to change things going forward. This is something that has been worked towards for a very long time, something that's been talked about for a very long time. And we're here, we're in the world now where there's a global shutter. So that's really, really exciting. They also announced the 300mm f2.8 lens as well. That sounds like a lovely prime lens. You pop a teleconverter on there, maybe a 2x teleconverter, 600mm, but then bring it back down to 300mm. That's super versatile. If you're shooting sports, especially indoor sports, f2.8, yes indeed. Yes, indeed. And Sigma also have announced the new 70 to 200 f2.8 DG-DN lens for Sony E-mount and for L-mount as well. Now, we actually have had that lens already for review. I just didn't get a chance to properly do it before Black Friday, but we will have that video out next week. And I'll just give you a little spoiler. I really like it. I really like it. It feels great. I love all the kind of little touches Sigma have had on that lens, the quality of life stuff. Big fan, but I'll save it for the review. Elsewhere, we had some tutorials on the YouTube channel. So we've had a couple of Lightroom tutorials, color grading, one of the new tools that came in one of the latest updates, which you can use for color grading, and a technique that I use all the time. Of course, in the event space, we had Black Friday. That's a pretty big deal. And like I say, pop over to parkcameras.com if you're still looking for something for, a nice little deal, maybe a Christmas gift, maybe a gift for the photographer in your life, even if that is indeed yourself. And speaking of which, over on our blog, we have some inspiration for great photography gifts for that photographer in your life. And like I say, you can buy a gift for yourself. Of course you can. Of course you can. I'm looking forward to December. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very cold. I'm very, very cold. I'm feeling the cold a lot more this year. We've got some cool videos coming up in December as well, which I'm quite excited about, to be honest with you. If there's anything specific that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments, because I always like to make the content that you guys want to see. Let me know what you're planning to shoot as well. Is there anything you're going to go out and shoot? Maybe some Christmas street photography, maybe some Christmas lights. That's always interesting. I like trying to fit that in somewhere. Go out, do a nice session out doing, the lights, the people, the shopping, the whole kind of Christmas buzz. I really enjoy that, trying to capture a bit of that as well. But let me know what you're shooting. I'd love to know down in the comments. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe. But I will, of course, see you in the next video. But until then, as always, thanks for watching.